4 kills, right? So it's just in a world where Monazi isn't performing on his level right here, maybe this looks like a more even game, like NIP have a chance to win a couple of more rounds, but 24 is just it's so ridiculous, right? You played what, like 19 rounds and you're just absolutely destroying NIP at the moment. Tactical timeout being called now from G2, so a chance for Taz to, you know, get a sense of the vibes in the team and maybe see if he can add a little bit. They have been very, very energetic, really on both sides, but obviously G2 have a lot more opportunities to be shouting for joy.
Right now they do, yeah, but in CS2, nothing is guaranteed, Anders. You know that. We've had some huge leads slip by the wayside in the last few months. Anything can and will happen. Alex knows that. New in-game leader for NIP, just discussing the options here. They managed to win the previous round and salvage a couple of AK-47s to bolster the defense here. Up against a force buy, if you like. G2 will have a couple of pistols here. They have got the AWP for Monacy still, and a couple of AKs themselves. Nico with the speculative shots through the smoke, trying to convince them there's presence on this side of the map. Rez needs to be careful as they get ready to enter towards B. This could be the execution. Couple of smokes being deployed and an opening frag from Monacy. No problem whatsoever. They flush out the wooden boards as well. Bait out the remaining CT utility on this side of the map. And it's down to Config. Hell of a player. Might be denied an opportunity though as they start to rotate over towards A.
Yeah, they are moving away, although double setup in the middle here for NIP. I wonder if they want to be... It looks like they wanted to go aggressive and find out what was going on. If they want to do that, then their timing for it is quickly running away here. They are getting very deep in the middle, but Hetrick has to hold on for quite a bit here before the flank could really be put into play. You could see Rez now started to get in the position. Maybe it'll work out. This timing is so hard to hit on the CT side. Good shot for Hetrick, but he's still getting hunted down. And how soon before somebody thinks about this flank?
Reds has been so good at finding these timings. Posting double kill after double kill. They'll need him more than ever here. Config completely smoked off from the bomb side. The C4 goes down. And will Rez be detected? He certainly will. Gunning for map point here. RG2. Speaking of wedges, the 4-on-2. Config and Alex, I don't think they have much to say about this one. They might as well hold on to the AK-47s.
It's so tricky when you're Rez in that flank, because if you go too quickly, then you kind of screw it up, right? Someone could be looking, and they're a little bit too late, and someone's checking, and this time it was Monacy. Yeah,
you got to thread that needle. And from this point out, it'll have to be a perfect game here from NIP. We'll need 5 rounds in a row just to take us to overtime. G2 in a very comfortable position at this stage as they let the round come to them eventually. They managed to get the nice deep to kick things off. Monacy over towards the B steps. S-Tag walks into his crosshair, and it's so difficult to hold on to the 5-on-4. And stranger things can happen.
Yeah, I mean, some of the individuals on the NIP side are playing pretty well. I'd say I would have wanted more out of Config. It's been a couple of rounds, like, yeah, the Deagle, he had a couple of good peaks, but he hasn't really been as active as you would have loved to have seen. So somebody needs to catch up to Rez on that side. It is looking really, really difficult at the moment, but I guess we'll see. We'll find out. Tactical time have been called by NIP. Chance for them to talk this through, see if they have anything left here that they can pull out.
Do you believe?
I feel like the problem is, especially with this particular NIP, or not this version of NIP, but the project as a whole, I just feel like I've been sold so many stories, Henry, and I can't anymore.
You're sick of it.
I'm a little bit sick of it. I hate to say it because you want to give them a chance, but...
I want to give Config a chance here. Honestly doesn't. What a shot that is to kick things off. We could be all said and done here, ladies and gents. Final round could be upon us as they take down one of the talisman of NIP to kick things off here. Config potentially finishes this map 9-13. They've got a 5-on-4. Setting up utility and T-spawn as well, juggling the grenades. They've got plenty of time here. CT's on the back foot to say at the very least. They are going to be setting up what looks to be mid-utility from T-spawn here for next up. in towards that B bomb site. Nico, Hunter, Hooksy. Nexa in spawn. You can do some very potent flashes for those skylights as well toward the B bomb site. Yeah. See whether this is going to be a chance for S-Tag. 5 and 18, can't hold on with the Desert Eagle. Alex needs perfect headshots here, but I think this is all done, Anders. m0NESY helps himself to yet another kill, and poor old Rez remains.
Alone on the map, trying to hold on to it. He started with an ace. He would have to try and get one more here at the end, and you can tell that is not going to happen. They're just so locked into this one. m0NESY at 28 kills right now. And again, we're playing MR12. We've only played 20 rounds. An absolutely beastly performance here from the young superstar. Rez, there's nothing he could do on this one, unfortunately. They're just all stuck in the bomb site waiting for him. Jump or not, he wasn't going to be able to make this round. There we go, Nico at the end, 13-7. G2 picking up the early map.
They certainly do, Anders, and in a very convincing fashion as well. Great finish, good morale throughout. This looks solid throughout the showing here on their opponent's map pick as well. But bear in mind, it's a best of 3. We do have more Counter-Strike to come. Anubis, the pick of G2 coming in next. But can they slow down m0NESY? That is the question. And to give us a breakdown, we've got the boys at the desk.
This might just be the first map of 2024 on LAN when it comes to G2, but they came in with authority and then came in with intensity. You could hear it from them. You could see the images on the live feed as well. You could see the reaction. G2 taking this first map extremely seriously here in Copenhagen and making minced meat out of NIP.
Yeah, what a great start for G2 to get into the season, right? Get into the LAN season. We've seen them then turn up at certain events. We've seen them play a bit online. We heard about practice rumors, practice results. We had a couple of question marks coming into the season as well. Would Nexa stay within the lineup? Was it the right decision with JKS? I'm not going to conclude anything based on one game, one map in a best-of-3 series, but it's a great start, especially when you look at the scoreboard for young m0NESY. He had a fantastic 2023, and I said it coming into 2024. This is his year. This is now he has to take that step up where he can contest against the likes of Saivu, against Nico for that matter as well. Simple if you were to come back, and what a perfect way to start the year for m0NESY, who absolutely dominated everyone and everything on that server.
You're right, of course. 4th best player of 2023, starting exactly the right way, 28 kills here. And I'll just put it out there, I think the scoreline is even just a little deceiving. You could think, oh, 13-7. Wait, hold on a minute. Maybe NIP wasn't it for a couple of moments. I don't think that was the case. I think Rez himself bought them a little bit of oxygen at the very beginning of this game with the amazing ace, and then you had this forced by battle that was won by NIP in the second half. But once you go into deep rounds, once you go into weapon rounds, m0NESY's impact was felt like nothing ever before. The positioning that he'd had, you will notice on some of these clips, he's on the B side waiting for that contact play to come in. He was on the A side ready to punish. He was also middle a couple of times. And I think Jacob, he traumatized NIP. I think he very quickly put them in a position where, holy hell, I don't know where to go. We don't know how to deal with this guy.
Yeah, I agree. I think he at some point in the game, he was traumatizing NIP. He was almost exposing them as well to a degree where they didn't have an answer for m0NESY. We know m0NESY likes to play up front. We know him to be in open position where he can do close combat fighting with the AWP. And if you're not flashing him or if you're not throwing in the bodies at him in a way that makes it incredibly tough for him to hit those shots, he will hit him. And I think NIP made it way too easy for m0NESY. I don't want to take anything away from that performance because a lot of AWP players wouldn't be able to punish NIP the way m0NESY did. But if you're NIP, you're coming in new season, you have a lineup that, you know, by all means is not inspiring to look at, then you gotta come in with a certain amount of team play that makes up for the lack of talent you have in your lineup, and I didn't see it at all on Vertigo.
I agree with you. We have the round history right there, and this is a little bit of a story that I was telling you guys at home as well. NIP with the decent start, 3-0, then there's a bit of a battle where they force by on the CT side, but unfortunately, they get immediately reset, so they haven't really existed past the 3-0 mark. And we were talking about m0NESY, and I think the comparison, unfortunately, the contrast with Hetrick is so stark. It is so strong. You cannot really ignore it. Not only just individual qualities, because, of course, m0NESY is a better player, but when you think about how they position themselves and when and where they decide to strike onto the offense. I think m0NESY had an ability in this game to be in that sort of halfway position where this isn't exactly the moment you're going to use flashes. You think, maybe I can get away with that little jiggle here, and boom, he's right there punishing you. Is that individual or is that game plan? A little bit of both?
A little bit of both, I think. I think mostly individual, though, for m0NESY. I don't think it's a team, G2, that is setting up m0NESY for success. I think m0NESY have all the freedom in the world to do whatever he feels comfortable doing. And once he's feeling it, he will dominate that server. And you say, of course, m0NESY is a better player. And of course, I agree. But it's not more than a year and a half ago that people were making the comparison between hedrick and m0NESY, saying,
I know.
well, they kind of have similar stats in NAVI Junior. They both like to play the AWP. hedrick was maybe taking a step back from m0NESY, so maybe he's as good. At least that's what NIP bought into when they signed hedrick in the first place. But let's be completely honest about ourselves right here. m0NESY versus hedrick, it's two different ballparks of players. m0NESY, a world beater, hedrick yet to find his form.
I'm right there with you. I love these images that we're getting from production as well. We talked about intensity. We're talking about G2 taking this game very seriously, and you could definitely see it. They were hyping themselves up. They were putting everything they had into this very game, and we know where we're at. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. We are aware that we are at the very beginning of a long blast sort of qualifier into the spring final. That's clear. But I think teams are now using this, and G2 specifically, as a way to get the engine going. Let's put ourselves into this 110%. Let's push ourselves into these official setting, because not only is there, of course, that spot for London for the spring finals, there's Katowice right around the corner, there's the major very close. So do you think we're already in that headspace for teams where shit's real? We're talking about officials real for now?
I think it's important to acknowledge the context for G2, because one of the reasons they wanted to bring in Nexa was the mood within the team. They said that they needed another hype man. They needed more good energy. HooXi was feeling alone in that department, hyping up the team, and it was a very quiet one. We saw Nexa at the World Finals. He was getting amped up. He was getting ready and loud. So yeah, I think G2 right now are practicing their new identity. I agree with you. For them to be, you know, at an intense level already at a group stage match, best of 3 against NIP in the opening one, they are just practicing how the new identity of G2 is going to look like, which is a bit more rowdy with Tess behind them as well, who's yelling. So it's a different outlook and a different identity when it comes to the body language and the sound coming out of G2 at the very least. So yes, I'd expect them to continue to practice that every single game they play.
Right, a strong contrast as well with their opposition NIP, and obviously our tone is going to get a little somber here when we look at not only, I would say, the performance as a team and the Counter-Strike that they've played, but and just individually, there seems like there are limits for the very top level that are now, I would say, undeniable, non-negotiable when you have S-Attack that's struggling so much, only down at 5 kills. But let me be clear, when Config's at 9, that's not exactly a success either. If we're not going to have a couple of individuals sort of bringing up hype and hope in terms of what this team can do, maybe Rez did a little bit of that in this map. He had a few moments where you got your eyebrow just raised, thinking, hold on a second, he's got something, he's got timing, he's got initiative, he's got assertiveness on the server. But the rest, to what extent can our analysis just stop at they don't have the quality in that set? I know it's lazy. I know it's a lazy way to look at it, but it does feel like in this particular iteration, in this game, they just don't have the quality to fight against G2.
I don't agree with you at all. I don't think it's, particularly in this game, it's been the case for the past couple of years for NIP. We had this conversation before where sometimes I allow myself to be very harsh on a certain team or certain players. I like Riz. I agree with you. He can be assertive on the server. He can be a difference maker. But we had the same goddamn conversation the past 3 years that we see him pop off once in a while, maybe even at a tournament, and then he falls into oblivion again, comes back to a good level, and there's no consistency. Same for Config, same for NIP. Look at that lineup. Look at the players and tell me you're inspired by that lineup, because I'm not. And fair enough, if you're not going to build a team where there's a lot of superstars, young talents, you're trying to mold into superstars, you want to build a team with great chemistry, with great synergy, with good calling, with an identity that can make up for some of the lack of talent on the server, and I just haven't seen it. Now, again, let's not jump the gun. It's a best of one,
of course,
technically right here.
We just
played
saw
Vertigo. We just saw it, right? But it's been the case for NIP for a couple of years now that we and their fans, I guess, have been less frustrated by this lineup. So I want to see a change, and I just didn't see it here in Vertigo.
A missed start for NIP, of course, absolutely not hitting the ground running now. They have a little bit of time to recompose. I'm sure they're outside discussing map 2, and we're going to do just that after a quick break. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Going to be testing Saiwu up here. From their point of view, he doesn't have an AWP yet, but he's playing real close. 30 seconds. This is either going to be fantastic or it's going to be a nightmare from Saiwu. Oh my God, what an ace! He took down every single one. A one-man army at the catwalk, and Vitality get to 7 rounds.
And this is a nice adjustment to the fast mid plays that we've seen.
Very quick. Right over top. Flames.
Nice movement from Flames. Gets up on there through the smoke.
Finds that little bit of room he can still work with. Okay. Big gap in that. Mid fight. Everything going the way of Ents until Flames comes back in, drops bomb.
Oh.
This is all Flames, all 3 kills so far.
Those 2 frags, insane. He's low on HP is the problem for them. And Flames, he's actually, unscathed, 4th
That's
frag.
4. Last man's inside of the site, bombs in the open. Oh, the ace! Flames from start to finish. Zywoo missed chance. Apex drawn out, in with another kill. Zywoo traded back. Cadian, the one-man army. 2 kills already to his name. 3 kills already claimed. And a 4th could be had. Ooh. Oh my God! Cadian from start to finish with bomb. But here comes Dupree. Quietly, creeping, lurking. And Cadian saw a sliver. Oh my God! Oh my God! 1v5! An absolute beast!
Feels like he gets clutch of the century every week.
Well, they just jump around the corner and take a shot to the leg. This is an easy pickup for Navi. I mean, they laugh in the face of this attack. 5th player in's the only one that gets a kill. He'll double down m0NESY, but he's already down to a quarter HP. That's 3.
Man.
But he only has 3 health left. That should be the end of him.
There's only 2 guys.
Yeah. He's going to use the smoke grenade to cut off Alexi.
Could they mess this up? 25 seconds, and m0NESY is seeing red.
He wants to make it happen.
Oh my God.
Oh, no, wait, dude. This is a 1 versus 5 straight up, and he has time to get bomb. He should have this red with another smoke. Oh, my m0NESY. 1 fake. The nade doesn't come through. Now, he's got enough space to commit to this. m0NESY, a pure 1v5. And as Ema tries to get out through that smoke, m0NESY's just dodging all these bullets.
He's terrified. Ema is looking behind him for a push through. Time's ticking away.
I mean, how could you not be horrified? m0NESY, the prodigy, has pieced together 4 frags in this 1v5 ace clutch. And Ema, his head is on a silver platter. A miracle.
Map number 2 is about to be on the way between NIP and G2. We're here in Copenhagen. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And let's jump right in. We have Anubis coming in, and I'll be honest, Jacob, I don't think I've ever seen an IP on Anubis. That literally does not evoke any image in my brain. I am not capable of retrieving any information. And I do think that they have never played Anubis.
Yeah, and they're playing against one of the best teams in the world on the map as well. So the test is up there for the grab right now if you're NIP. That was one of the points we brought up, though. When you have a long off-season, you have a long break, you had the chance, you have the time to redefine your map pool, test out new maps. And who knows, maybe NIP and the players, they have the constellation of players, and maybe the feeling for the map of Anubis is going to be great when in the NIP camp. We don't know how they've been practicing. We don't know what kind of feeling there is. All I do want to say, though, is that in order to be good at a map, it takes an awful long time. And one thing is practicing the map, another one is playing it in officials.
Yes.
And you're going up against T2, who have an awful lot of experience on Anubis. So no matter how you spin this one match here, it's not looking good for you.
I mean, I'm glad you took that turn at the very end. I was about to come on you immediately, but you could see it coming. You were ready to take the left turn. Indeed, official practice, those aren't the same concepts when it comes to learning a map and getting your reps in. And G2, unfortunately, for NIP, have already had a couple of these moments, even with Nexa.
Yeah.
It's still a very young roster, and we're not saying out there that G2 is a completely well-oiled machine that's done. No, of course, they're still finding themselves with Nexa, but they've had a bunch of very important games on it already, and we're talking overtimes, we're talking 26, 27 rounds plus on the map, and Nexa's been relatively decent. So is this the moment where we just basically fold our arms and say, GG, it's over?
I think that'd be fair to do. I mean, if you're out there and you're watching the game, you have a feeling that it may be GG already, I wouldn't blame you. Again, never say never in Counter-Strike, but for my money, there's nothing that points in the direction of NIP. There's no argument I can come up as to why they should be able to win against G2. So I'm trying to take the backseat here and say if NIP can make the game competitive, or if they can show us they can play Anubis and they've been practicing the map and maybe a couple of cool strategies or something positive that we can highlight after they've lost the map, then that will be a win in itself for me. But I doubt it's going to happen.
All right, you're looking for something positive. You're looking at maybe a behavior, an atmosphere, an intensity.
Maybe. Yeah, a player. It could be a great performance from an individual, but it's not going to solve all the issues I have with NIP. Again, the lack of identity, the lack of clear vision as to where this lineup is going. I'm just not seeing it at the moment, and I haven't seen it for 2 years. Maybe I'm half blind, Matthew. I'm wearing glasses, but I still can't grasp it.
Yeah, you only can make fun of your eye impairment. I cannot do that. Of course, I would offend a whole lot of people out there. Well, I have a contact lens in one eye, you know. That's a true story. I only use one. Only my right eye is actually faulty. But anyway, we are absolutely diverting into a different topic here. It does feel like the stacks, or rather the odds, are stacked against NIP, but isn't this, in this moment, Anders and Henry, that the greatest upsets happen? I mean, a little bit of romance. What do you think?
Nope.
I like the fact Jacob just jumps in there straight away. Nope, zero chance. It's true, though. It's G2. They put their best foot forward here on the long road to London. It was a convincing first map, and the analyst kind of put that picture together perfectly. The fact that NIP don't even play this map, they've got no recorded outings on Anubis, doesn't bode well at all against G2, who are considered one of the world's best.
I could sense that Jacob shares my frustration with NIP. Like, I could, you know, he's not really trying to hide it either. But you know, I appreciate it. It has been, I think, a frustrating experience trying to watch them put it all together. But yeah, now they're really on deep waters at the moment against G2 on Anubis. Second map, having already lost the first one. And with m0NESY just absolutely wrecking. I think 28 kills at the end of it.
Yeah, turbulent waters for sure. NIP needs to hoist the sails, man the cannons, and see if they can put up any sort of a fight here as they begin their campaign on Anubis on the T side. It looks to be a B execution as well, Anders. We've got double Molotovs again. Same approach they had on the T side pistol on Vertigo. Worked out very well for them. Rez got that ace. And the smokes are being deployed early. It's Hooksy to defend. P2000 in hand. First shot's coming through, and he's lost all vision.
Yeah, he can't see a thing. He's just guessing at the moment. We'll do a bit of damage on the other side, but the bomb is being swiftly planted. So far, so good for NIP. They have a Molotov as well, but there is a smoke on the other side. Actually, two smokes for the retake, so no defuse kit. It's kind of weird having a double smoke, but no defuse kit, I suppose. So could still be a really long time, but at least the Molotov on the T side won't... Oh, they've thrown it early.
They can smoke the main entrance and the bomb itself as well. So 2 layers of smokes will be coming through here. That Molotov can be completely averted as the defuse will start to come through momentarily. Here it comes, and now this is going to be really problematic. They will take down the diffuser through the smoke. It's absolutely chaotic out here. CT's running out of time. The defuse is still being committed to. Can they hold on to it? 3 seconds remaining. It's unclear as to who will be coming out top. Oh no! G2 with a 10-second defuse there and a 5-on-5. The double smoke we knew would be an issue, and all those bullets bombarded towards the C4 itself, and there's not quite enough. And an absolute gut punch of a round for NIP. They give that one up. They will be able to force fire in the second, but it was looking so good. A 5-on-5 post-plant scenario, but the double smoke is what eludes them as they can't close things out.
The double smoke, double defuse with people running in front trying to catch the bullets so that they don't hit the player that's defusing. Absolutely. I've never seen anything like it.
That's a wild way to kick things off here. As mentioned, with the bomb planted and a few kills found, they'll almost certainly be forced buying in the second, so not all is lost, but still a disappointing way to kick things off here. Grenades and bullets exchanged towards middle, not significant damage just yet.
I would actually love to hear the comms from NIP in that round, because surely nobody knows if anyone even is defusing, right?
Yeah,
it's just
that's
chaos.
true.
Like, you have no idea. You couldn't guess. You're going to take the chance and just try and shoot through the smoke.
It's the fact they had the double smoke on the retake as well. Normally in that sort of scenario, you have one smoke, and you're smoking on top of the bomb, but the fact they could smoke the bomb and main entrance as well, it was just so difficult to deal with there with the Glocks. Couldn't find the second diffuser, and yeah, that's going to be a really disappointing way to close things out. But as we mentioned, not all is lost. Back towards B we go. You can see they've got control of Darkroom as well. It's a bit of a B retake as well. I think there's only one player on this side of the map, actually. That's going to be Hooksy. So same scenario. He might just have to give this one up. Powerful smoke. Doesn't lead into the first kill. There it is. Connects eventually. And now he knows they're on the other side. S-Tag answers back 4-on-4.
Yeah, a bit of a shame, because I think Hooksy had the right idea. You know, get a kill, fall back, go for the retake. And he was trying to escape. He was trying to get out of the line of sight there. But S-Tag hunting him down. We'd love to see more out of S-Tag. Wasn't really too impressive on the first map. He's going to go down to Nico. There's Hetrick, though. Ready to follow up. And the AK just absolutely stopping him in the tracks. This is looking brilliant at the moment.
Has he got anything else left in the tank? Apparently not. It's going to be Nexa and m0NESY left in the 2 versus 1. The defuse can come through. They're going to have to commit to it now. They seem to know exactly where Rez is. This should be enough now. But G2, no way! He wins him the round with low HP. He had to find the diffuser if possible. One bullet would have taken him down, Anders, but somehow, some way, Rez comes out on top, saves the day here for the Ninjas. They tie things up 1-1. Like G2 had done more than enough there in the 2-on-1 scenario, but it's Modesty that can't find the shot as a defuse comes through. But what a beautiful sequence this was from Headtrick as well. This was the moment. What a wide swing, and Modesty can't find the all-important shot. Stolen away there. NIP back on their feet. And with the saved M4, it looks like there'll be a forced buy in response here as well.
Huge amount of focus for Rez in that moment to not lose track of what was going on.
That's the only way he can win the round. If he takes down the diffuser with a wide swing, delivers the goods here. He was fantastic on the first map, but Modesty, he'll find first blood
with
in round number 3.
on top from the bomb site, that's so sick.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Like, what a frustrating experience. You can't easily jiggle out of that position because you just got tagged by the grenade.
Yep. Great way to kick things off. Will be the T side to recover the fallen AK-47 though. Nico spots one. That's Config, top and middle. Still got the majority of their utility on the T side. Molotov towards the double doors. Flashbang to try and gain some positional control of the position. The Molotov to dissuade Nico. The grenade does a ton of damage, but so does the Deagle. How does he get a double? I have no idea. 40 points of health, 2 players swinging with rifles, and somehow they both go down. That is wild.
They even got the grenade on him to begin with. He was already low on health. Oh, he's getting away with so much in that moment.
I can understand one kill, but the double? Yeah, that's going to sting. If Nexa can just delay now, allow these rotations to come through. Should be a bit of a walk in the park here. Turns out to be true. Double kill with the M4 in the end for Monity. He gets himself a hat trick in this particular round. He got that first frag towards the T-steps, courtesy of the alley-oop from the A-side grenade as well. And that's a nightmare after recovering a 2 versus 1. Rez will have to accept the defeat here once again. This is the moment. How does this go wrong for them? They hit the Molotov down, the preemptive grenade, and still he gets 2 kills from it. Rez can't close it out this time. And the 4 spies continue. The war of attrition is officially alive and well. Tech-9s and Deagles.
That round kind of betrays Rez 1 versus 2 to stop the bomb defuse in the previous round, right? Because they put in a lot of work on IP to pick up that round, and now there's a chance it's kind of all for nothing here. What a find. Okay. Whatever, man.
He's just like, I'm going to make you walk into my crosshair at this point. Here's an incendiary. Give me the sound cue, and I'll just take you down in a couple of seconds. Excellent work there from Hunter. 5 on 4. Full control for G2 here, up against 4 remaining pistols. Man advantage is theirs, and there's 0 grenades, Anders. How do you breach a bomb site with nothing to speak of? You're going to have to find some insane timing here. Comes down to luck more than anything, and that could be it. A chance, a dink. And it will be Nico, though, ready and waiting to get stuck in. Just 1 player remaining. This 4 spy has done nothing for them. Maybe Rez will get 1 for his trouble to close things out, but it's Nico with a classy finish there. The USP straight to the dome.
Yeah, that is the gentleman's weapon of choice, isn't
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I mean, it had to be the timing against the guy that was throwing the grenade. That was maybe the only way to even have any kind of an influence on the round there. This is so well played. Hunter manufacturing that opportunity himself. And G2 picking up another round. 3-1 in their favor. And obviously no bomb plant. Even if there had been no real cash here for NIP to work with, they are just in an enormous amount of trouble. The money has really betrayed them here. Galil in the hands of Hooksy. No AWP yet on Modesty. That is something that NIP will have to try and deal with down the road.
For now, though, Anders, just one of those rounds where the most exciting prospect I can give you is try and bait out the grenades on the CT side. That is about it. You've got Glocks pretty much across the board here. No Kevlar, no grenade yourself. Oh, the incendiary is just perfect as well, just when they were getting ready to pounce. Flashbangs to enable a Nico swing that's being deployed right now. And he might get taken down here, yeah. Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good.
All 5 players at the same time.
It's a good response from Modesty, though. He knows they're going to be trying to grab that rifle if possible. He throws the incendiary on it, and these Glocks are actually proving to be a little bit problematic here. They're burning each other in the camera room as well, trying to use the flames as cover. And now this round got a lot more interesting. They've managed to salvage a rifle. Still have no grenades or Kevlar, of course, but maybe a bomb plant. Maybe a round victory. You never know. It's Config who's going to be left on the extremities while his teammates rotate round towards B main. If he can find the timing here, if his teammates can take all the aggro and he can drop down, yeah, this could actually work out quite nicely. But, all right, well, Hunter's made very light work of it, to say at the very least. And just as it was looking interesting, it's completely shut down. Hunter with a lovely sequence in towards that darkroom position, triple spray down a main, and aware of Config's antics there towards the drop down.
Yeah, good mechanics for Hunter. And I mean, also the fact, like you said, they don't have any armor, so they're just getting chewed up so quickly here. But still, well played.
He's insane.
They're really excited for this game so far. It's making it a lot more enjoyable. I appreciate it.
Bear in mind, you've got Nexa in the squad now as well.
Yeah.
Certainly not a quiet individual.
True.
Loves to get Larry. Loves to rile up the opposition. Raise the morale of his teammates as well. You've got Taz behind you as well. So that definitely was an issue for G2, like keeping their head in the game before. I feel like that problem should be solved at this point. A scary prospect for anyone playing against this squad here.
Yeah, you get them rolling at the start of it, and who knows what can happen.
True.
Hunter and Nico and m0NESY all playing a really good game at the start of Anubis. For NIP, I mean, it's early days, but still, if they want a chance to have a say and sort of shock the world, I think the desk we're talking about a little bit, you know, we don't have any real data on NIP playing this map, so if they want to cause a crazy upset, they had better win some of these early rounds, preferably this one right here. Or there's a good chance that G2 will run away with it. And look at this little adventure that HooXi's on.
Yeah, this is prime. So much information. Dominating the map right now with this flank. They can actually, you can see they're rotating 2 players through CT Spawn right now. We're going to have 3 ready and waiting. HooXi, how brave are you feeling right now? Takes the kill in the side of the head, funnels him in towards A, and guess what? G2 more than ready for this one, boys. You can execute all you like. They've got multiple players ready and waiting. It's Nexa dishing out the pain. Double kill to open things up. And a 5 versus 2. Bear in mind, if you are watching this, NIP have no recorded games on Anubis. Yeah. We've had a player break. They've had a month. Probably been working on it. It's not to say they don't play a full stop. It's got no official games. So playing against G2, who are considered to be one of the world's best teams. I think that's a timeout we just had called as well. Yeah, it's going to be quite a scary prospect, especially if you're not watching the flanks. If HooXi's able to get that much information, like he doesn't find any kills, but the fact he even gets outside of B, gets in towards top and middle, then he finds Config. It's absolutely massive. They've got no time left. They have to go in towards A. And as we saw, Nexa and 2 other players ready and waiting.
What an experience. Like, you're trying to execute onto a bomb site, and your sign to go is that one of your players, the only player you have in the middle, gets shot on the side of the head.
And when you know it's Config as well.
Yeah, and you know that it's, like, they know that it's coming. Like, they know they actually are coming. They're deep on the map. They've already rotated, so now you're just like half-heartedly throwing your grenades into the bomb site saying,
that's all you can do. Look,
try.
You've been absolutely rumbled here. Player like Config caught lurking on that side of the map, facing towards A. You know what's coming in next. And as you mentioned, yeah, sure, you can throw a few half-hearted grenades in there, but yeah, they were more than ready for it. Nexa double kill completely swarms them as they try and break through the initial choke point of the bomb site. Has to be a bit of a partial here. They've got maximum loss bonus, of course. AK-47 for Rez. Nico, bit of a strong defense in towards middle, currently 6 and 4. Everyone contributing on the G2 side. Can't really say the same for NIP. Let's have a look, though. Waiting for potential aggression here. The CTs, though, Anders, they've got 3 AK-47s. That makes, like, solo positions, like middle for Nico, just so much easier to manage. You can actually hold some one-tap potential angles, going for that mission of hunting for info once again, and it's HooXi leading the charge, and he can't believe his luck. No one there once more. Nico on high alert, realizing that middle could be under some scrutiny momentarily, and he'd be right in thinking so. Got himself nice little incendiary to segregate the T's. Config actually lucky to survive that long. Nico just wants to get out of there now. Ideally, he'll be dropped to this point. Surely, there it is. Trade finally comes through. It's up to Rez to try and do anything with this round. Ace split the finish.
He had 30 health after the first fight, Nico, and he kind of stuck around to look for it. Rez goes straight down. Nexa on point with the spray and will get the double kill of his own. So hat trick. Yeah, faking the bomb once. He can win this round if he's quick with it. There's the one shot now. Monacy, if he misses the kill here, but he won't. Of course he won't. Gets it and wins the round. But that one got a lot closer than it really should have been.
All that really matters is they post the round at the top of the scoreboard. Sure, comes down to the 1 versus 1. But as you said, it would require a Monacy miss for them to get that round. And
I can hear I was saying it like, what if he misses? Like,
yeah.
Not going to miss, is
Yeah,
it?
there's not been many of those today, let me tell you, as G2 continue to dominate the CT side of Anubis. Bear in mind, this is one of the most T-sided maps we have in the pool. Like, obviously, the meta is constantly adjusting. I'm not going to get into that just yet, but definitely the stats suggest that the T-side should be winning on this map. Deep smoke down towards T-Steps as well. Suggests some initiative here from the CT side, maybe hunting for information elsewhere, trying to keep them busy with that smoke, deny vision. You can see they're actually probing it towards A main. Monacy will join next up. Baiting him in towards the baskets right now. And it's a B lean right now from NIP. The majority of their firepower on this side of the map. Smoke down towards the huts. And what can Config do with this? Trying to take matters into his own hands. S-Tag trying to flush out the CTs on the other side here. Next, what did say the challenge? The smoke is deployed. And maybe a fortunate kill could come through. Lots of damage. Exit under 5 points of health, but no frag found.
Yeah, some unconfirmed damage there, but, you know, maybe down the road it could have a bit of an impact on the game. 50 seconds on the clock, and NIP, I mean, they've been pretty good at getting the bomb plant over at the bomb site here with B, so maybe they just want to try that again. Bit of a grenade to blow open the smoke, but there's so many people on the other side. Hooksy, more than he was asking for there. A bomb plant happening on the other side, and actually looking quite good here for NIP. This is not too bad. 4 on 5.
This is save territory.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to have to go for. We've seen Hooksy alone in this B bomb site time and time again. Normally good for 1 or 2 kills. This time unable to deliver. And it'll be NIP with 5 players surviving here. Finally breaking the streak. As, yeah, there's no choice but to save the weaponry. And rightly so. Sure, they have enough money to buy even if everyone went down. But the money's... it's there for a reason, and the CT economy can spiral out of control very quickly. Saving 4 weapons, giving up one of these rounds. Like I said, it's a T-sided map, not a big deal. Hooksy goes down. That B-bomb site has been an interesting discussion, to be honest with you, because Hooksy's found them so many rounds by going for these flanks towards top and middle, and this time NIP trying to shut down that prospect, and they certainly will. As maybe a timeout here, you can see Taz flipping down the mic. So he's got something to say, Anders.
Yeah, and I think he mentioned this in the pre-game interview, you know, like about getting up, you know, as soon as you fall, like trying to not let anything linger. So I'm sure he wants to have that presence right away.
How sick is it, by the way? We've got Taz coaching G2, Neo coaching FaZe, and Snacks playing for Gamer Legion.
Yeah. Well,
they're all here.
They're all
Pash is watching from home, I'm sure. Bialy as well.
Yeah.
But in spirit, they're here. But this is kind of cool.
It is.
All 3 players are in the building.
I think that was like, you know, this is a long time ago, but I think that was one of the big questions early on in CSGO, right? When it was like, you know, I think 13 through 15 or something.
Yeah.
Big question was, what happens to some of these players when they retire? It wasn't obvious that there was going to be a coaching job for anybody, really. Like, we just hadn't evolved to that point yet. But it's kind of great to see it that there is like a secondary career. Obviously, some people have made a lot out of it, right? Sonic's career was more in 1.6, but still, quite cool to see that it's doable. Exist was playing with Heroic for a long time, you know, coaching them to great success, so.
All right, Rez, we need some success from you as well, I'm afraid. That will do nicely. Monacy, call his pants down, didn't expect the push through the smoke. Speaking of which, Hunter with a double kill, pops it open himself. Nexus here at the scene of the crime as well. Bomb will be planted, but huge amount of damage output here from Nico as he delivers another stunning HE grenade. S-Tag hasn't had the best series so far, and he's got a Molotov lineup for us, at least, Anders. Won't matter, but there was an idea, a concept.
Yeah, I think they had smokes anyway, so probably wouldn't have worked out, but yeah, it kind of sucks to not get at least to try it. What a double kill for Hunter. That changed everything, right? Because the opening for Rez is so sick. The bomb plants will follow really quickly behind it. But the fact that he got the second spray down through the smoke, just instant headshot, that's devastating.
All by design as well. He pops the smoke open himself. You can see he gets that vision for a second, and that's all he needs. Truly hunting them from the dark room. A double kill is just what the doctor ordered. Next up, able to find the penultimate frag as well. Nothing could be done for S-Tag. 7-2, bomb planted, lost bonuses there. NIP still have a compelling buy. But time is of the essence. A 2-0 is looking incredibly likely here. Round number 10, head trick. Challenge towards the dark room, but that will be smoked off by the ninjas themselves.
Yeah, but another nade from inside of the bomb site. Look at how much damage that does. Lands on Alex and head trick, so they don't get the peak that they wanted, and they just get a grenade down to half health. That's devastating. A good one in return on Hunter. S-Tag not wanting to turn the corner. Honestly, does have the AWP out, so chance to see that put into play. We saw on Vertigo just what a menace it was. They never found a way to deal with m0NESY on that opening map, and
certainly not. He absolutely dominated them. And I don't use that word lightly. Now, Rez had a great showing as well, but the way they got absolutely ran over on the first map, like it's kind of all for naught. He needed his teammates to join him.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, he got that ace in the pistol as well. And here we go. A chance. Looking for that mid-split, and Hooksy once again has found the timing here. They can start bolstering the defense. 30 seconds, m0NESY in a prime position. As they smoke them out towards the camera room, he can focus his efforts here towards main entrance. First kill will be his, surely, and it's just an absolute massacre here. I'm not even gonna get that hyped about this one, Anders, because they just limped in towards the A side. They've shown nothing that suggests they're gonna find a single kill here. Hooksy had the same flank, the same information gathered. It was just a done deal before they even entered the bomb site.
And you know, from that camera position, they threw down the Molotov in front of the smoke. So they're pushing through the smoke into the Molotov.
Screen,
like, you can see them burning as they come out, and m0NESY was on the other side. So either way, like they got completely outplayed. Like, it's so ridiculous. G2 more than a step ahead right now of NIP, I would say.
Mopping the floor with them. They're trying these defaults at the start, but they're giving nothing. And the moment they initiate some sort of execution or maneuver in towards the A bomb site, that's when Hooksy's backstabbing them and just gets all the... He wins the round every time he's doing that, because he's getting all this information to allow 3 members of the G2 side and towards this A bomb site. It's just not working out. They're not applying enough pressure in these defaults to dissuade Hooksy. They need to, like, cause some damage, bait out his grenades, keep him tucked away. But every time... And they've got a royal flush right now as well, Anders. 4 AK-47s and the AWP on the CT side. You don't see it too often, but it suggests the team's absolutely owning their opposition when this happens. Like, to have the AKs on the CT side is one thing, but to have nothing but AKs is quite special.
Yeah, it takes away that chance that you can win a fight on the T side by getting, you know, like, you get dinked, but you get the headshot in return. You win anyway. Like, that's no longer an option. They're going to be quick with the kills. And they pretty much have been already anyway. S-Tag stepping right onto the grenade. Smoke in the middle, try and slow them down. But they are pushing through. They want to be quick with it here. Some spray coming in from Nico. He's not quite seen them. A little bit jump. He definitely saw that one. And he's going to be able to get rid of Config. So
good smoke.
Yeah.
Just when they thought there was some trade potential, he denies access towards the camera room. Running out of time and indeed space. NIP another 5-on-4. They've done significant damage towards Nico, but as we mentioned, he's denied them any sort of opportunity to take him down. Hooksy's been spectacular this game. Like, sure, he's only got 4 kills, but the information he's garnered throughout these important rounds, like, has been second to none. You cannot take anything away from him in this game. As long as he posts a frag around like that, maybe a couple, he's done his job. As he guarantees the round by the looks of things here as well. 25 seconds, and there's 4-on-2. NIP looking at 6s and 7s. They've just got nothing left to do in this particular round. Someone, well, might have to be head trick considering he's got high HP. This has to go absolutely berserk here. And that is not the way to kick things off. But a whiffed Nexus spray gives him an opportunity. And Nico's low HP.
Yeah, but all he has to do is get one. Oh, the bomb instead. Yeah, it doesn't matter the health at that point in time. Nice flash setup for Nexa to get the kill, but he just couldn't get the spray down, unfortunately. But still.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a better flash. Like a frag on a plate. but doesn't really matter. They deny the plant. It's the last round coming up next. This is already a done deal, courtesy of Hooksy's antics toward the dark room. It's almost on for the triple there as well. As mentioned, Nika low HP just had to deny the plant there, and they absolutely do so. Not the flashiest finish, but they'll take that all day long. Bear in mind, T-sided map, and you're finishing things off potentially 10-2 as you try and fight back with a Tech 9, a Galil, a Mac 10. They've opted some utility over the firepower here, and the flashbang over the top suggests we'll be pushing that B main position once again. NIP nowhere to be found, and that's fine. It just means the CTs can rotate once again in toward this A side of the map, and that's what they're doing right now. Oh, last chance here for NIP on a T-side campaign.
Yeah, it truly is. Round number 12 here.
Nice
Again,
nade.
they're checking outside of the A bomb side, or B bomb side. Look at it. Hooksy's kind of jiggling at the corner, kind of spotting it out. But they're a little bit faster this time in IP. Counter flash coming out, and the spray is so good. Nexa making up for the previous round. A big double for him, and a 4 versus 3 now, and they're committed to it. They know they have to try and get this bomb planted right away. It's not going to happen. It's an absolute lockdown, 10-2 at the end, Henry.
Unbelievable scenes here. It's G2 putting their best foot forward on the long road to London. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying the glorious return to LAN Counter-Strike. It's day one of the Blast Premier Spring Groups 2024, and we find ourselves in the second map between G2 and NIP, the latter of which not looking too hot out there on Anubis, Anders.
That's putting it very politely, I must say, Henry.
That's all I had for you.
it's not great. It definitely isn't. A 10-2 deficit at the beginning of the second half here. NIP now going to be starting on the CT side, G2 on the T side. They are very, very close to doing this. And it's not surprising. The desk already mentioned to us, we don't really have any real data on NIP on this map. It's not a map that they play. G2, they're very good on it. So this is kind of how we would expect for the script to play out. We'll see if they can get anything done, but it's Modesty.
Oh, no.
Right at the start, and Nico from the middle, saving his teammate. Config on a bit of a mission there.
The round's not done just yet, though. There's still an opportunity for the CTs here as they start to make their way back in towards the B bomb side. That's where two players reside, and it's Hooksy that goes down first. Gives up the fact that there's a couple of players in towards Temple at least. So they get the information. Bomb to be planted. There is a kit available for Alex. He's 3-11 right now. If he defuses this bomb, there might be a slither of hope for NIP, but they're in a 4 versus 3 right now.
And they have the kit, but they do not have the smoke to block the bomb with.
Yes, it's a good point.
Very hard to see it, even for 5 seconds without anyone shooting you in the side of the head here. And already the battle is underway. Hunter to begin with. That's Alex with the kit, now dead. And they're just going to be relentlessly chasing the rest of the players down. S-Tag, the last to drop. And this pistol round almost confirming the victory on the map here for G2. There's really no way around it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. Huge pistol victory. Didn't really come close whatsoever. Sure, they had the kit, but they'd already lost the manpower in the early stages of the round. There was a chance for Config to save the day. He was aggressive, of course.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, taken down by Nico's P250. Means the world to Hooksy. A great start is just what the docs were ordered here at Spring Groups, and a great start they found. Couldn't get a much better scenario than what they have right now. You've already taken your opponent's map pick. You're playing against them on a map they don't play, and you're up 11-2. Like, in terms of the variables that could go in your favor, this is looking prime for a G2 victory.
It's hard to construct narrative in which you could believe that there's any kind of an NIP comeback happening here. Although still, even then, you would just love to see some more of the NIP individuals even show up. You know, it'd be great to see Config have a couple of sick rounds. He's got 2 kills right now. Alex got 3. I mean, S-Tag's got 3. Some of these people have just disappeared.
Yeah, it's true. They've got no choice but to force buy here. You can't recover a 12-2 match point deficit. You're going to have to hope and pray this round goes in your favor.
And they've been boot camping for a long time as far as we've heard, right? So they should be feeling a little bit more fresh than this.
I mean, it's the first game of the tournament, but as we mentioned, this new format at Blast, where we've gone from 12 teams to 16, there's no redundant games anymore. There's no 3 chances, and if you lose 2 games, that's it, you're out. You go to the lower bracket after losing this game, and I'll just check, I think it's between NAVI and Complexity. They will end up playing in Group C. Let me just double check. Yeah, so NAVI and Complexity, you play the loser of that game coming up soon, and still, that's NIP, the way they've played today, you'd probably put them as the... Not exactly as the favorites, but either way, we'll see if they can make anything of this particular round. Like a force buy, always difficult to deal with. They've got the CZs, Desert Eagles, and some decent positioning. They've got Alex in towards camera with a CZ. Could be difficult to flush him out. 4 players, a bit of a stack towards the A side of the map here. Flashbang's decent, but unable to capitalize upon it, really.
That stack is good, but the problem is when it's getting flanked like this, as soon as they're running up behind your defense, which is pretty much what's happening when they come out of the camera room there, it's just hard to do anything about it. Config going to go down last. A lot of damage on the 2 of the players there on the G2 side, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. They're laughing their way across the finish line here. They're having such a good time.
Yeah, this is where Counter-Strike here really is fun. When you're just winning every strategy you call in, even when you're running into the stacks. You've essentially made the wrong call there. Like, you've gone for the ace play, you've walked into the 4-man stack, but still, you barely give up a single kill. Everyone's just firing on all cylinders. And that was the force buy. And you're going to have to do the same again. Like, it's brutal right now. 10 rounds in a row for an IP just to take us to overtime on a map they don't play. It will be Scouts, CZs, more the same, really. S-Tag and Justifier for Mass. 4-13. He finished the first map 5-18 as well. So, been a bit of a horror show for him to kick things off. A chance for head trick. He's decent with the Scout. We know that. He's had a couple of influential picks. But we need a lot more where that came from to start suggesting they can win this round and indeed this game. Behind the pillar, 1 player resides. That's Config. I think Hooksy potentially spotted him there. Speculative shots, trying to inflict some damage. And there he is, Config. Mowed down by that MAC-10.
Another player now taking up that position. And there was a bit of a flank coming in. Yeah, there we go, long range. Hooksy not realizing they were coming up the river behind him, so 4 versus 3. A minute on the clock and a missed shot, and that's going to give them an opening just a bit. S-Tag are going to get traded right away, and suddenly it's a 2 versus 1 in favor of G2. They're going to get that kill, no problem, Henry. 13-2 as G2 just crush NIP in this best of 3.
Yeah, the new look G2, Taz at the helm, and it looks like a great performance all around. Everyone steps up as m0NESY dominating that first map. A great showing as we throw it over to the desk to break that one down.
What an absolute destruction that G2 just inflicted to NIP. Very one-sided, very clear victory. And if the first map was any indication of the differential between these two teams, any questions that was at the time open has now been closed. Holy macaroni, what a wreck.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful performance coming out of G2. I think they were firing on all cylinders. We kind of painted the picture coming into Anubis. We didn't know what to expect from NIP. We haven't seen them play.
I preferred it at the time. I preferred what I didn't know.
Yes, exactly. And then we, of course, knew G2, one of the best teams in the world off the map of Anubis. And the way they were playing in this game, very loud, very passionate, with great focus as well. We're spending some rounds in here. You could hear the communication crystal clear, still very amped up despite leading 12-2. So in all fashions right here, a very good performance coming out of G2 and a positive start to the year for them.
Definitely, we see the laughs in the G2 camp. The scoreboard is telling a very, very clear picture. We can very quickly mention Nexa once again having a very decent Anubis. It does feel like on that A side, on the CT side specifically, he knows how to handle a couple of these plays. But I just refuse to put too much credit into this game. I actually refuse because, and I'm going to change my tone just a little bit here, it was always clear to me that NIP was going to be the smallest and potentially most complicated team to handle here on that group. But this series gave me the feeling that it's just a matter of time until they end up being eliminated last. This is the feeling that I'm getting from this series. Now, you might tell me I'm exaggerating. You might tell me I'm getting too amped up on that win from G2. But this was a weak performance from NIP.
It's hard to find an argument against that, Matthew. I agree with you. It's so poor, it's so uninspiring that we're left with nothing positive to say when it comes to NIP. We tried, at least I tried coming into the game thinking, okay, you had a good break. We haven't seen you since the fall finals in Copenhagen. It's been a long off-season for NIP. You stuck with your lineup. You stuck with the 5-man roster we saw last time you played as well. So you must have been putting in hours, practice, and maybe trying to build that identity that we were lacking and we were questioning 3 months ago. It's just one game. It could be an off day, by all means, but it's more of the same, and it's been like this for 3 years. So yes, I lost faith 2 years ago, and I still haven't reassured that face at all.
It might just be an off day, and that's what Jacob looks like when he's on that copium. We have the bracket of the Group C, of course. That overview is coming right up. G2 is already ahead, but they are waiting for an opponent. They made minced meat out of NIP, but they're yet to find who will face them in that upper bracket final, and it is coming right after this break. NAVI versus Complexity. We'll be right back.
We're ready for a new season and we want to start this new season really well. Coming into the tournament, we have been focused on ourselves. A very good mentality right now because we just come off a very quick and easy close qualifier for the RMR. I think we can do well here. I think we have a bit of an advantage that we have been playing a few months now together as a team. Elish, the last few months, have been like top 3 player in the world. And I don't see that stopping right now. So I think he's just going to keep going and keep steamrolling teams. At the end of last season, we dropped off a little bit, so we want to get back on the horse and show everyone what we're made of. I'm just excited to show our own team. I don't really care who we play. I think that if we are playing at the level we want to be, we can definitely win this group. But right now, I think we are very close to the best we can be.
I feel like we're more of a stable team. The chart of rising up was stable. I don't believe those teams have that. G2 has been all over the place, going up and down. NIP hasn't found their footing yet. And about complexity, I feel like we could have the upper hand above them. Whatever team we face, we really feel like we could do serious damage. We'll have our unique traits. I think Bit is the most remarkable for his aim. Wonderful as well, he's been playing really well. He has been shining, he has been delivering, and not a single time have I seen him crumble under the pressure. Then within the camp, I feel like it's going really good. Even being down 8-1, we're capable of still hyping each other up. We're becoming solidified, we're trusting ourselves, we're trusting the system, the game plan that we make. We're having better chemistry. I think the main reason why we're going to qualify is because we're better than the other teams. Not much more to say.
Welcome back to the Blast Spring Groups here in Copenhagen. This is another game opener of Group C, of course. We just witnessed G2 destroy NIP quite clearly. And our second game of the day is going to be NIP versus Complexity. We have, NAVI rather. I say NIP. They marked me for the wrong reasons.
They're going.
NAVI coming up here. We see them getting out of the van. And a team, honestly, that is quite interesting because there is a contrast between the jersey and how much experience and tenure there is behind that name, but also a whole lot of rookies under that jersey. We're talking about the likes of JL. We see Ime here on the camera shot. We have Wonderful. These are obviously players that we're hoping to see more and more over the next few months and years of Counter-Strike. They are going to be facing Complexity, which was a team on the up and up at the end of 2023. If you ask me, between Sydney and Copenhagen at the time, I think they made a case for being one of the 8th best team in the world. They'd be in the top 8. They'd be contenders for long playoffs, and they'd be making life really complicated for the best teams out there. But I will just put it out there, Jacob. The finish of the season left me wondering. The finish of the season left me wondering what the hell is going on. Why couldn't they capitalize on all of that improvement, that progression, show up, and Elisa have a great result, show up at the Challenger, which they should dominate? It's not what happened, and that left me with questions. Where is Complexity right now?
It was the inability to do well at events at a lower scale, because you're right, you said it so well. They made a case to maybe even be a top 5, top 6 team in the world. They were playing well against the best teams in the world, but when they got into the Atlanta, the Challenger, the smaller size tournament, they were also fought against teams below their own level. So is that Complexity being a team that is playing better when the opposition is better, or is that Complexity maybe running out of steam? Holzerg said it, he wasn't satisfied with it, Complexity weren't satisfied with it, but I'm not too worried because I think they played well enough for the vast majority of the past 6 months to me to be confident that this is a team that we can count on deliver good Counter-Strike.
We're looking for answers, and hopefully Elish had a couple with James.
The end of 2023 was an interesting one for you guys, right? We see early exits and events we expect you guys to do better in, and the momentum kind of fell apart. So I wanted to see, what did you guys discuss as a team going into this year?
I think the biggest thing for our team has just been raising our skill floor, because I think that everyone can see that we have a pretty decent skill ceiling, higher than a lot of people expected from our team, and that's why we got really far in the tournaments, but that's also why we've had low lows, and that's kind of like why we didn't play very well at Elisa or Atlanta, and it's also why we can bail ourselves out of unwinnable rounds, but it's also why we can lose unlosable rounds. Yeah. So I think just the gap between our skill floor and skill ceiling is just was really great, and we've just been focusing on minimizing that as much as we can.
Trying to minimize mistakes, of course. He talks about winning unwinnable situations. Their opponent, on the other hand, NAVI, just had a few of these moments in the RMR qualifiers. We're talking about crazy comebacks versus VP at the time, and I myself talked a bit with Alexi in the gym. Actually, he told me this was hella intense, and he exchanged a few words with James about the very topic.
From a boot camp in Spain, then coming to the RMR, you go through pretty smoothly, I would say, right? The VP game was a bit back and forth, but I would say, how do you feel the preparation went to get you ready for Blast here?
We were definitely fully focused on the RMR, obviously here as well, but I think playing online after having not played online for a while, especially for Valerchik, he played, I think, 2021, maybe the last online match. Wow. So we focused fully on that. I'm glad we played an amazing match against VP. But yeah, obviously we've been doing a lot of work and see how it goes here in Blast.
Now we'll look at past NAVI games that you've been in. We've seen you guys struggle when you maybe had a chance to win it, especially in maybe these closer games, but it didn't happen in that VP game you mentioned. Is this something you've worked on? Is it something that's changed?
I mean, I couldn't say that, yeah, we worked on us coming back or something like this. I just think it's the fact that we have a lot of repetitions under our belts. We trust some of the things we do with high confidence, even though the game might be trialing that we might be on the back foot. But to be honest, if you give that type of a lead to any team on RMR 12, we could easily lose those games, especially if we don't win the pistol on the other half. So obviously we focus now on a couple of days to try not to make the same mistakes and try to start the game a bit sooner rather than like 9-1 or 8-1.
That's definitely key for success. Now, I want to touch on the fact that you're playing Complexity here, and they were a team that you were massively upset about losing against when it came to the full finals. How much more do you feel improved as NAVI going into this match compared to when you faced them last?
I mean, to be honest, I think we improved quite a bit, but at the same time, it went all the way to the third map, and we ended up losing like a 2-on-5 that really haunted us. But regardless, they played pretty well. We played pretty well on that match, and it could have went either ways. I just think that right now, we just need to go out guns blazing into the first map, see how it goes, and go from there.
Hit the ground running is what Alexi is hoping to see for his team. And I'm going to come to you, Jacob, about what kind of improvements would you like to see from NAVI coming off of this break? Right? We knew they went through this incredible change going from being CIS International, and then Simple's announced he's going to take a step back. You have to bring in Wonderful. We had to give them time. There's been a little bit of time.
Sure.
What else better would you like to see from NAVI now?
I think the foundation they've built so far under LXCB and with the coach as well and Blade, I think it's been progressing well. I think after each tournament we've been positive. We've been talking about them trending upwards. The one question mark we always had is there enough skill within NAVI? Do they have this star player like they used to with Simple and Electronic who could carry them in games where the foundation perhaps weren't great enough in order to win the games? So I'm still yet to see the Emma from, the Paris Major. I'm still yet to see the Wonderful, completely banging through the server and being the difference maker. I need that star performance coming in from someone who can consistently deliver numbers on the server. And if they can find that player within the current lineup, I think the foundation of what NAVI have done so far has been steady but solid progress.
It's a twofold work, of course. You have to establish your philosophy of game, and we know LXCB can do that, but you also have to mentor and sort of tutor these future superstars of tomorrow. I agree with you, Jacob. And as I speak about superstars, it is only apt that I introduce my good old friends, Henry G and Anders. It's over to you, my friends. Have a good time.
Thank you so much, darling. I appreciate it. Yes, indeed, Anders. Group C continues here. NAVI versus Complexity. Winner, of course, goes on to play G2. Loser will go down to the lower bracket to play NIP, where it's all on the line here. Who have you got as the favourites? Complexity had a great start at CS2, but certainly dropping off as the tournaments have evolved.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to call. I mean, I would have to go for NAVI on this one. I think the GGBet odds as well were kind of showing that the NAVI were slightly favorites in that sense. But yeah, I feel like they have a good, solid core here. But I share some of the concerns, obviously, with that were happening on the desk, right? People saying, well, where are the superstars at? Like we know Wonderful could be really sick.
Yeah.
Emma supposed to be there, but every once in a while it's lacking a little bit. But I mean, I trust the core of it, and I like what Alexi's been working on.
Yeah, well, they ran the gauntlet of the online qualifiers for the RMR, managed to get through that one, and that means their calendar is now stacked going forward. It all starts here, though, in 2024 on LAN at least. Difficult opponents in the face of Complexity. Bear in mind, it's Overpass kicked things off as well. Kind of a specialty map for Complexity over the years, but their form has not been fantastic. We heard from Elige that he feels that their floor is too low. They need to raise that because the ceiling's very high. Like when they're firing on all cylinders and they look like the team's working, it's players like JT, names you wouldn't necessarily rely on, that step up and go above and beyond for this squad. They're going to need everyone here to step up, especially the man on the screen there, Horzerk, up against Wonderful. I think that's going to be a tantalizing battle, to say the very least.
Yeah, for me, I feel like I'm just continuously underestimating this Complexity lineup. I don't know what it is, but every time I'm like, I don't know. And every time they actually play better than I was expecting. So hopefully that's going to be the case today. They have a bit of a task ahead of them. Yeah, shout out to Floppy as well. When he's having a good performance, he can be one of the best riflers in the game. It's rare we see it, but when it comes online, it's a sight to behold. Ladies and gentlemen, your second match here at Spring Groups 2024. It's NAVI taking on Complexity. It will be the T-side start for the North Americans here. It's their map pick, and they've got a single smoke and a flashbang. You'd assume a P250, yes, indeed, in the hands of Elige. And, well, he's made it known very early on that he's here to frag. Yeah, they hardly get out of spawn before he's found a headshot. That's the start that you were looking for. Emma knocked out cold at the beginning of this one. Double setup towards the connector, though, with the dualies as well. Could be very hard to fight. I mean, you have to get a little bit close in here. You could see Grim hiding in the corner. JL slowly but surely trying to get close, but he was in range of the Glock instead, and now he's going to be dead. So 3 versus 5, and a very, very measured approach. That's also the defuse kit, I think, down on the ground. So couple of mishaps here for Navi all around. Round's not over just yet, though. Wonderful could provide some assistance, but it's Elige with his second frag now down to bits. The Julie's a perfect weapon for the job, but unable to capitalize upon it. 5 versus 1, very clean start here for Complexity. Smoke goes down as well for good measure. They're not rushing anything here. Not going to take anything for granted, as they will complete the clean streak, as it is going to be all 5 players surviving there. It's Elige to open things up, get himself a couple of frags of that P250, and didn't even really have to execute a strategy. The kills just came towards them, and piece by piece, they win the round. It's how it all started, though. An ambitious Imma gets his clock cleaned very early on there, and it's Elige that continues to dominate with his P250, 3 in total, as it's Complexity running away with the T-side pistol. Not a single frag garnered on the CT side, leads them to a full eco in round number 2. Yeah, but a good mix, I would say, for Complexity. Aggression when they needed to be aggressive. They slowed down the game when they needed to. Yeah. Just, everything that you'd really like to see. That's a beautiful thing. Surely nothing to be said about this round, but in CS2, there is something about these full USP rounds that always makes it a little bit more problematic than we anticipate. I like the setup. I wish they had a flashbang to kind of initiate this fight with on the CT side, but they are in a position where they could get, if the fight lasts a couple of seconds more, the flank could be coming in from long, although I think that's being held. Yeah, Horzerk ready. They know that JL is out here, so it's just a question of time, and they didn't really do almost any damage at all. So, great work. Very good work.